Live from Kings Mountain High School, it's Mountaineer Football Tonight, the weekly coaches show where we discuss everything Mountaineer football. Brought to you by the Kings Mountain Touchdown Club and sponsored by ASI Incorporated, Harris Funeral Home, and the Kings Mountain Family YMCA. The Player of the Week is brought to you by Butler's Outdoor Design. And now your host, Craig Short, with head coach Straight Herring for Mountaineer Football Tonight.
Good evening, fans. Welcome to Mountaineer Football Tonight, the spring early summer edition. I'm Craig Short, your host. Drew behind the controls over there. Coach Aaron with me. Coach, good to see you.
Good to see you.
We're going to talk to Coach about what he saw in spring practice this year and what's coming up through the summer. And we're going to jump right to it, Coach. Good to see you. Been a while. Looking good as always. So spring practice wrapped up a few weeks ago. Tell us some of the biggest things you wanted to accomplish with spring practice, and how do you feel the team met those right. I know you don't like to set goals, but got the stuff accomplished that you wanted to.
Yeah, and you know, the spring, one of the main things that we wanted to focus on this year, we've been telling our players that there's two things that we got to do better, and that's be positive and be confident. Yeah. And there's two ways, there's two things that are very important about being more confident, and that is to get bigger, stronger, faster, and then to know what to do. Yeah. And so our spring was really focused hard on learning, our players learning the schemes, getting better at the schemes, and then doing a lot of fundamental work. Yeah. So we kind of, honestly, I think we kind of got away from that a little bit last year, and we know coaching as long as we have, and Coach Carroll, I coach for Coach Carroll, Coach Carroll's coach for me, we both coach for Coach Wallace. One of the things that we've always said is what makes a difference in a football team is individual work. It's that development that you do, and we put a huge focus on that in the spring, and I thought it went really well.
What stood out to you? I mean, were there any positive surprises that you saw?
Well, the first positive is this year we've got more coaches than we've ever had, and that's a great thing. We actually, you know, we have a coach that's going to coach the quarterbacks. We have a coach that's going to coach the H-backs. We got a coach, obviously, that we got a receiver coach, we got an offensive line coach, and then on defense, we've even broken it down more. We have a coach that's just going to coach the jacks, a guy that's going to coach the linebackers, a coach that's going to coach the safeties and the corners. So where we were doing all of that work before with about 3 coaches on each side, now we've got 5 and 6. So that was definitely a positive, because that can help with the development of each of the kids. Yeah. So and that's what I've been impressed with the most, is that those coaches have really taken ownership of their individual groups and working them really hard.
Were they with you in the spring?
Most of them were, yes.
So you basically have got your staff like going into the summer and into the fall. You're ready to go. Right. That's a really good thing. Yep. So we know about the rising 9th grade class has had a lot of success in their time over there, over to middle school. They've had a county championship, might have even won more than one. I know they won the most recent one. What excites you, and what have you seen about that new group coming in? Well,
you know, this is Wednesday. Their first day to report was Monday, so we've seen them twice. Okay. And we like the numbers. We filled the locker room up. There's I think there's about 44 kids that showed up.
That's good.
So that excites me that they're here. They want to be here. Yeah. When you watch them run and watch them lift and do some drills and that kind of stuff, you can tell that there's talent there. So that's obviously exciting. The only disappointment with that is that we've asked them, you know, hey, and we have a list, and Coach Cole is double checking everybody now, but we've asked our players, like, hey, this doesn't look like the same size group that I saw standing on the sideline when y'all were playing in the stadium. You know, we're missing some guys, and they all nodded their heads and said, hey, get on the phone, call them, tell them to get out here. Let's get this thing going. So I don't think we're missing a lot, but I think we're missing a few that we really need to have.
Yeah, I know a lot of times that the peer pressure gets them here better than anything.
That's exactly.
Beyond that group coming in, I know you've got a good. You feel like I would think you feel like you got a decent and relatively strong core coming back from last year. Talk about, with that group being as large as it is and young, talk about your reliance on that core group coming back, because this, for some of these guys, I would say the juniors have now been with you for 3 straight years,
right,
that have played straight through. So I would assume, we're looking for more of a leadership role out of those older guys.
Yeah, and the senior class really is, again, just like last year, it's really small.
Yeah.
Our senior class, I think there's only 14 or 15 of them in it, that's a small group. I'd like our senior class to have 25. That's about what an average of what I would like to have. But when you say that, though, and then you go back and you look, and we've got, and those guys that are in that senior class, the guys you're going to see a lot of that making a lot of plays, and I don't want to go through all the names because I'll forget somebody, but right off the top of your head, I mean, you're going to see Day and Deshaun, we're using him in a couple of different roles again, like we did last year, but between him and Kareem Coleman, you've got 2 really good running backs because he's going to work at running back, but then you've also got Eli, who's a young kid that can also play running back. Yeah. So those kind of things, you're going to see a mixture of our older with our younger guys. But then and there's a lot more. There's you start talking about Samarion Dawkins and then the guys that are on BAM that's on the defensive line and so forth and so on that you saw before. We're expecting a lot out of them.
Sure.
But then the younger guys, which is going to be our sophomore and junior class, we're also very excited about because a lot of them played last year. Somebody made the comment to me that we were playing that last playoff game and they looked out on the field. We had 5 freshmen playing on the field at one time. So, of course, all of those freshmen, again, I can go through all the names, but I hate to forget somebody. But when you look out there and you see Kavion and you see King and you see Miles Parks and this year you're going to see Jaheim Kirk, and there's others. They're young kids that we feel really comfortable about putting them on the field. Sure. So the thing that's all exciting. That's exciting stuff. But what is really, really good, what I really, really see, what we've been preaching to these guys since day one, and I think it's finally starting to take hold, is that these guys they're starting to pull for each other.
Yeah.
They want to see each other do well instead of it just be me.
Yeah.
And I think that is going to be the biggest change. It's all about being positive and being confident, and that's what we've been preaching to them. I use my saying, I've said it a million times, don't worry, get upset over things you can't control, do your best, thinking of others first, and let God handle the rest. We want our players to take care of their business, and one of the big parts of that is taking care of others. You got to know, you got to pull for your teammate. We can't go out there and think that it's all about me. And that whole team philosophy and being a glue guy, things like that we talked to them about. I think this group is finally really harnessing that.
I was actually just about to say, from what you talked about last year, the glue guy mentality that you brought in, and I like that. And so the good thing about a situation like that is if guys kind of develop that on their own, they know you would like to have it, they know that's what your standard is, your expectation, and then when they kind of take the leadership on their own, the ownership, that really is a very positive thing. Yeah,
that's where the change comes. But we've been saying that for 3 years. We're hoping that this is going to be the change. The biggest thing is that we're talking to them about is stay off of social media.
Yeah,
that is the biggest. That's the biggest kickback to what we need to be doing in order to be positive that we have to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. So what we'll do real quick, we're going to talk about the summer when we come back. They've the 7-on-7 schedule and some other things coming up this summer. So we'll get to those questions with Coach in just a minute. We'll be back after a quick sponsor break.
Mountaineer Football Tonight is brought to you by the Kings Mountain Family YMCA, Harris Funeral Home, and ASI Incorporated.
Welcome back. All right, Coach, let's talk about the summer. Last week you had a 7-on-7 against Chase and
Bessemer City.
Bessemer City, right? Tell us some of the things that you saw that you liked. 7-on-7 is kind of hard to understand. Well, not understand. You don't get a complete read because you don't have linemen involved.
Right.
But you are able to see all your skill players and your defensive backs and linebackers. And you're able to see some of your execution of your offense. But talk about what you saw, and then talk about what you're hoping to accomplish. You don't have to necessarily go through your entire 7-on-7 schedule. It'll be posted, I know.
Right.
But if you want to talk about some of the things you want to hope to try to do this summer with 7-on-7.
Yeah, well, the reason why 7-on-7 is important to me, and I know some people have a totally different philosophy about 7-on-7, but it's important to me for two reasons. And that's one is it's a teaching apparatus. You can take them out there and you can teach them what to do. And then the second thing is to compete. And I guess there's a third to it, which is also getting in shape, getting in playing shape. But you said it, 7-on-7 is not football.
Right.
It's basketball on grass. And, there's no pads. You're not going to get hit running across the middle. You don't have a quarterback being rushed. It's a whole nother game. But you have to do it in order to get kids to be able to run routes, play coverages, quarterbacks make reads and make throws and all of that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a necessary evil in my opinion. But so we're doing it to actually get our guys the opportunity to play together. Yeah. I mean that's why we want to do it. So we had a good 7-on-7 for first week. I mean we came back after a 14-day break. We had one practice on Monday, and we were doing 7-on-7 on Tuesday. So you kind of, say, hey, we'll have some hiccups along the way, and we really didn't. Well, our coaches did a great job. Receivers basically knew the routes. Coverage was pretty good as far as knowing where to be and that kind of stuff. Of course, we've got to get better at it. But as far as the 7-on-7 season goes, next week's going to be huge. We've got 3 of them next week. We got one Tuesday morning. We got one all day Thursday. Tuesday morning is here. One Thursday all day at Northwestern, and then one Saturday all day at UNCC. So it's pretty. We're pretty loaded next week, and that's kind of what we want to do. We get this week, and then we'll do some 7-on-7s next week, the week after, and then when we get to July, we might do one here or there, but we try to back off of that and then get back into real football, what I call real football.
And I know with the one last week, the linemen did a few things, like Bessemer City, I think, brought their linemen and were able to do a few drills with our guys too. Yeah, they do.
They call them lineman challenges. I've done them before. We went and did one when I was coaching at South Point. Well, actually, we did one when I was at Clover, and we had one of our best offensive linemen blow out his knee. Yeah. And so I've always been leery of it. When I got to South Point, I decided one day we were going to do one. We came over to Clover. Mm-hmm. We did it. My offensive lineman coach came to me and said, "Coach, I'm never doing that again. Yeah. So if you want to do that, you can take them over there. Yeah. I'm not doing it." And so I said, "What was wrong?" He said, "They had them like pulling carts and doing all this stuff." He said, "Somebody's going to get hurt." Yeah. And I was like, "That's it. We're not doing it anymore." Well, Bessemer and Chase, they asked about bringing theirs over and us working together, doing some things, and so we let them do that. But I believe that's going to be the only time we do it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong now. We've got a young quarterback. We're not going to talk about specific players just now, but he wasn't able to be with you in the spring practice, was he?
No.
So what I was going to say is, not only did you have just like a day of practice or two before the 7-on-7. Like I saw him out there playing last week. It looks like he's already got decent command of the offense.
Yeah. And so, of course, we're huge about making sure that we're following the rules and doing that kind of thing. There is a 7-on-7 league that's out there. Right. And so that quarterback was playing in the league with some of our players and some others. Yeah. So they knew some stuff that we were doing and they were doing, but and so they've already done some of that stuff out on their own. But this guy, Jordan Jenkins, he's going to be a good one. He's met with our coaches early on, just learning and figuring out what we were doing. He's very smart, and so it was easy for him to pick up.
Yeah.
And here's the other part. So we've made a change at offensive coordinator last year. Me and Coach Short kind of did it together towards the end of the year. I turned it all over to Coach Short. Now Coach Short's in charge of it. We've got Jake Lloyd on staff with us now. He and Shane are I think they're kind of doing it together.
Yeah.
And then of course you've got Coach Lineberger and Coach Bill. They all throw in their ideas, and then you've got Coach Brewer, and he's new to the staff, and Coach Boone, who's new to the staff. The running back coach, quarterback coach, they all kind of get in there and get all that stuff going together. They have done a tremendous job of breaking it down, making it simpler, and coaching them up. So I was really excited to watch Jordan do what he did in such a short time.
And I'm assuming, I know the one next Tuesday here will be big, but I'm assuming the one at Northwestern and Charlotte will be really big. So probably some pretty big teams coming.
Yeah, it'll be very competitive, and it's fine. You know, again, it used to irk me. At South Point, we would go to these 7-on-7s, and we did really well at them. But there's a couple 7-on-7s. We'd come in second place, and our guys would just be mad, which is great. I mean, that's great. We had a couple of them that we won, and when we got done, they handed us a trophy, and they handed it to me, and I handed it to one of the players, and they said, "Coach, what do you want me to do with this?" I don't know. Take it home, put it on the shelf. It don't matter to me. And they said, "You're not going to put it in the trophy case at the school?" I said, "Dude, the day that we put a 7-on-7 trophy in our trophy case, I'm out. I'm not with you anymore. I could care less."
I'm with you.
So. The main thing about it, even though it's going to be competitive, and we want to go compete, and we want to play hard, and we want to make sure that we're working on technique and being in the right place and going as hard and fast as we can. In that setting, we've got to take it. We got to take it for what it is.
What it is. Yeah.
We can't get upset, and we want to do well, but you can't just. I just don't want our guys to get over there and fall apart because things doesn't go exactly the way we want to. I just want us to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I hope we go compete hard and compete well.
Well, because I hope you do too. I mean, a successful 7-on-7 season, quote unquote, is good, but it does not a regular football season make.
Man, there's a team down in South Carolina. I'm not going to talk about them. When they played 7-on-7, they won 7-on-7s after 7-on-7s after 7-on-7s. When they got in the season, they were 3-7 every year.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah, it doesn't
mean a thing.
No. So there's a lot of optimism, Coach, going on right now. I mean, we've got a great fan base. We do, and I don't mean that flippantly. We've got a great fan base. We'll talk more about some of the stuff that our community's doing later. But it's June, so it's early, and everybody's optimistic. You know, hope springs eternal. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, so I don't mind wearing my Dolphin stuff right now. Then when we get to the season, I don't want to wear it anymore.
Right.
I'm not that way with Kings Mountain, of course.
That's good.
But between now and week one seems like forever away, but it's really not. What do you think your biggest challenge or challenges are between now and then?
Seriously, our players have worked as hard as any group that we've had since Christmas. When we got back from Christmas, we got in the weight room, and they have worked extremely hard. They did a great job in spring. We had guys that were playing baseball and playing and running track and doing that kind of stuff. Some of those guys would finish their track practice and come and get the last part of football practice in.
That's a big deal.
That's a great sign. It shows how much they really want to do it. And so our biggest challenge, really, I believe our biggest challenge, and I've been fighting this since I was at South Point. We have to remember that these guys are teenagers. Yeah. They're teenage guys and they have a life outside of football. You know, they would most of them would love to play football all the time and play in the league and play for the rest of their lives, and that's just not the way it is. So we have to remember that summertime is summertime. And so and last week was awesome. It was probably the best energy, best positive energy at 4 days of practice that we've had. this past Monday was a good practice, not the same as the week before. Yesterday was real low key. It was nothing like what it was last week, and we're just getting started.
Yep.
So one of the biggest challenges is not to burn them out.
Yeah.
We just don't want to burn them out. We want them to love to come and do it. So that's why we practice Monday through Thursday. Now we go 2 hours and 15 minutes in the evening, and we keep them moving. It's a fast-paced practice. We're on a schedule. We're on a clock. We've got things happening. It just doesn't stop. But we want them to stay positive, and we want them to be confident, and we don't want them to lose that drive.
Yeah.
That's a big challenge.
Especially because you're thinking, I mean, every coach thinks this, but strong programs like we have here, and you're leading, you're planning on going November, December. I mean, so you're talking 6 months from now, you still
Yes.
plan on being in a football season.
Yes.
And you're right. You have to try to mitigate the issues that's going to burn them out. You don't want to burn them out up front
Right.
because you know you're going to be with them a while.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
It's hard, and I think it's harder now than it used to be. You know, like when I played, once football season was over, we were done until spring practice. Spring practice started, and then everybody's all excited and go through spring practice, and you get through with that, and then you would go to summer workouts. And honestly, our summer workout was you had to show up at the school, go in the weight room. There was nobody in there. You just went in and signed your name and did your lift, and then left.
Yeah.
You know, and no coach was there, and you could do it any time during the day. Then when the first day of practice started, my senior year, usually every year up till then, we did two-a-days. Because you wasn't doing it year-round, you had to do it two-a-days to be able to get it all in before the first game.
Yeah.
My senior year, we went three-a-days. So it's everything is kind of changed. It's kind of evolved. It's year-round. We're doing it almost all the time.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you just don't want to burn them out.
Correct.
You know, and so I truly see that as a challenge.
Yeah.
And because you also have some of those kids, they don't want to break. They want to do it every day, all day, and that's all they want to do. Yeah. And sometimes you get them, they might be thinking, well, man, we don't work hard enough. Well, I promise you, we're working extremely hard, probably 11 out of 12 months if you count up every single day that they work.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a challenge that we just want our kids to, we just want them to feel good. We want them to be ready to play when the time comes to play.
I think they will be. I mean, I'm with you. I saw just that, as you spoke to a moment ago, just out there last week. There just was a little bit of a different kind of buzz, and a little bit, it was different, but a good different.
Right.
And not that it's ever been bad. It's just, but you're right. You could kind of feel it and sense it last week, and it was neat to hear that and see that. So, what we'll do, fans, we'll take one quick break. When we come back, I'm not going to talk about the entire season. We'll get Coach to talk to us about the Charlotte Catholic game. There's something big going on with that this year. I'll let him describe that for you, and then we'll get him out of here on that because he's got to go to practice. So hold tight. After the break, we'll come back and talk about that and go from there.
Mountaineer Football Tonight is brought to you by the Kings Mountain Family YMCA. Harris Funeral Home, and ASI Incorporated.
Coach, not going to go through the whole season. We'll do that later. I mean, we'll do Drew and myself and probably Lamont and whomever. We'll do a season breakdown and all that stuff. But tell the fans the Charlotte Catholic game is a big deal this year because, I mean, it's a big deal because it's a game. But tell them about what's happening with that game here on September the 11th, correct?
September 11th.
Okay.
Yep. So there's a group that sponsors a high school football game, and honestly, I didn't know the whole extent of it. I was actually reading an article the other day on my phone that I'll talk about. But this group has what they call the Patriot Bowl or the Patriotism game or whatever. they call it. I thought it was Patriot Bowl, but I think I saw something where it's different. But anyway, this group, they actually sponsor this thing where they give money to both schools to buy a uniform that is dressed out patriotic. The two teams will play against each other on a night that's significant. So our game against Charlotte Catholic is on 9/11, which is huge, and this is the 250th year of the country. So it is going to be a huge deal. So we had a meeting, we talked with the guys, it's been a while back now, but there are going to be special people here, special announcements being made. A helicopter is going to fly in, and they're going to have a VIP section set up somewhere in the stadium for these special people, whoever they are, dignitaries that are coming in. But I was reading an article on my Apple News feed, and they were talking about this 250th year concert thing that was going on. That's been a big debacle in the news. And at the bottom of it, it started listing all of the things that were going on that people do to celebrate patriotism. And it said in there will be a Patriotism Bowl versus 2 high school teams in every state this year. So obviously the one that's in North Carolina is us.
So you're one of 50.
We're one of 50.
That's amazing.
So it's pretty cool. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a really exciting night. Of course, Charlotte Catholic will be a tough tough team to play, which will make it a great environment. They have a new coach, and so it should be a huge deal. And they've played in it before. They played in it, I think 2 or 3 years ago at their place. I don't remember who they played, so they know what it's about. But I would expect that night's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think we'll have more information about it as it gets a little closer too, I'm sure. But I'm anxious to see just the game, of course, but all the stuff with it.
Yeah,
that'll be neat.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a different environment than what you would be used to at a high school game.
And you don't have to tell them exactly what it looks like, but we have a specially designed jersey for that night.
Yes,
correct?
Yes, we'll have a brand new jersey that nobody has seen other than me and a couple other coaches and Rusty Baumgartner, the guy who designed it for us.
Catholic has one too, right?
Yes, they'll have one too.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
It'll be cool.
Good deal. So that's the patriotic or something like that bowl.
Patriotism game.
Yeah.
Patriotism bowl. I don't know. But
I'm sure it will get advertised quite a bit around here too, especially even probably news will be on it since it's one of 50.
I would think so.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I would think so.
Okay, Coach, good practice. Good to talk to you as always.
Thanks
we'll
for
be
having
back with you. Yes, sir. So we'll take another quick break. We come back, we'll talk about getting ready for the season and go from there. Be back in just a minute. Thank you, Coach.
Mountaineer Football Tonight is brought to you by the Kings Mountain Family YMCA, Harris Funeral Home, and ASI Incorporated. So
you're good. Welcome back, fans. What we're going to do now, let's talk a few things about some stuff that's going on. I know many of you have been by here and you've seen the progress made on the press box, which is unbelievable. It's going up quickly. We'll be ready before the season gets here, and we'll have much better opportunities for seating there. But I do want to talk about a couple of things. Another couple of things in the works here is directly behind, in front of where I'm sitting, but behind the field house. They're in the process, the Touchdown Club and the school's in the process of building a new building behind us, and we're going to convert the weight room into a wrestling room. The rest of the weight room will be behind the field house, access for all athletes, all school classes, and those kinds of things. And I wanted to give a special shout out, if I could, to Jared Horde. Jared's son wrestles, and he is clearing the land and has cleared the land pro bono and helped that. And then Rutherford the team from Rutherfordton is building the building, and Mr. Herndon's team, his group of workers who are doing the press box, they're going to help with the building. So once again, you see another situation where the community is coming up, the community is helping, or stepping up, I should say, and helping not only converting the wrestling room in the weight room into a wrestling room, but also helping us down here behind. Because one other thing I'll say, Coach Steve Moffitt, who coached here for many years and is a very big Mountaineer supporter, his team is helping move the weight equipment. So that's a really big deal. We really appreciate that. The weight room is going to be just a simple building, but it's going to be very, very interactive. It's going to allow the racks to be split up where coaches can watch more and get more done with the players, where now I think, I made a note here, then the racks are doubles now, so they can make them singles, so you can have more work done in each rack and the students can do much better there. Timing to get our stands, go back to those, is coming up. The grandstands are coming in. David, Mr. Brinkley told me in the next couple of weeks. So you'll see major improvements continue there in the stadium with that going on. And with that saying, I wanted to point this out. You may have seen this on social media. There's a GoFundMe page that has been established for the Touchdown Club and for continued improvements. I will tell you that right now, the Touchdown Club is only, now this number is probably going to sound like a lot, and in essence it is, but when I tell you the difference, it's really not. The Touchdown Club is only $625,000 away from paying off the $4 million debt. Now, like I said, $625,000 is a lot of money. I don't have that kind of money myself. Most of us don't. But when you consider that it's only a portion left of the $4 million that was the overall debt, that's quite a big deal that you all have done in this community and the Touchdown Club in general. So I strongly encourage you to continue to be a part of the Touchdown Club, to join this year as it comes up again, membership comes up, but also the GoFundMe. A lot of times people think GoFundMe pages are set up and they expect you to give $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000. Hey, if you could do that, that's great. But the premise behind a GoFundMe page is to give what you can give. If you can go on the GoFundMe and give $10, if you can go on the GoFundMe and give $100 or $1,000, great. That is a way that our community again shows the support. Because like I told you, I say this every week on the coaches show and in on the game broadcast. Remember what our community does through the Touchdown Club. It's all things Mountaineers. They support everything. They support athletics. They support academics. They support the arts. There are countless things the Touchdown Club has done and continues to do to make this the quintessential program and school in the state of North Carolina. I would put our facilities up against anyone, and even some small colleges. So if you have a chance, go to the GoFundMe. It's via the Touchdown Club. You can go to kmtouchdownclub.com and you can find that link. I know that it'll be posted again. I saw it posted a couple of nights ago. And if you can, donate there if you're able to. Any amount helps. The final thing I'll say is something that I was told. Once they get the conversion to the weight room for the wrestling room, so the wrestling team will have their own place. At that point, every single team at Kings Mountain will have its own practice space. And eventually they're going to upgrade the baseball and softball fields, making them even better. But that's amazing when you consider a lot of schools don't have that, and we have that here, and that's because of the contributions and the sacrifices many of you are making. So thank you, KM Touchdown Club. Thank you, fans and community, for your support. The business partners that we have, everyone involved, thank you so very much for helping with that. Remember the GoFundMe on kmtouchdownclub.com. Join the KM Touchdown Club, and you can be a part of helping everything Mountaineer. So, speaking for Drew back there behind the camera, Lamont, who is off doing his thing right now, we'll have a kickoff show in the fall. We'll come together and discuss the schedule like we did last year, talk about county schedules of our county rivals and those kinds of things, and get the season ready to go. We will also talk about scrimmages. We'll try to get our show in before they scrimmage, if not right after they have their first scrimmages, and go from there. But we love you. We appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Hug them and kiss them. Don't take anything for granted, and thank the Lord for all the blessings you have. Have a great night.
Mountaineer Football Tonight was brought to you by the Kings Mountain Touchdown Club and sponsored by ASI Incorporated, Harris Funeral Home, and the Kings Mountain Family YMCA. The Player of the Week, brought to you by Butler's Outdoor Design. This has been a presentation of KMHS Sports.